Hello, everybody. Welcome to our channel, Opening Up the Closet with Tripat. I am your mental wellness coach, Triza Patricia, and I am also your host. Thank you very much for always joining us and listening, and we talk together. I am very grateful. Remember, in this channel, we seek to know what is in our unconscious. We want to find out what are these enablers that we have, these strengths, what are these successes, what are these hopes and dreams, what are these failures that are there that are stopping us from moving forward, what are these aspirations, what are our safety nets. We want to find out how we can use them to grow, or how we can let go of some of them so that we can live this holistic life. Thank you very much for joining. Today, I wanted to just again talk, as I always say. We just want to talk. I had a program called Minds on the Move, initiated, and it was born out of opening up the closet. How? Because in opening up the closet, as we talked, as people wrote to me, anonymous people, because they don't wish to be mentioned, I realized that most of these issues that we go through in our closets, they really come from our childhood. Most of them. Some, of course, we pick along the way, but most of them come from our childhood. So then I figured out, then why don't I go to this young level, to the young children, to the young learners, and try and hear what they are going through already, and probably with my effort and the schools and parents and caregivers, we could probably see how to guide them. So that is how Minds on the Move school tour came about. And while at it, because I have been in several schools, while at it, I have heard and listened to most of our children and what they are going through and what they are feeling. And some of them are very good stories. The children are very excited with their caregivers and their parents and people around them, even their schools. But some of them, most of them too, still need guidance. We still need to be there for them if we want to have a good, future. The next generation, that's our future. So if we want a stable future, you know, we want to bring up this kind of generation that is going to know how to live holistic lives, that is going to know how to identify themselves, that is going to know what they really want and what's their purpose in life, then we shall have done a great job. It is not easy. I mean, when I was also growing up, I could hear people saying having the baby is never actually the real work. The real work is taking care of that child, and there are very thin lines between doing a great job, between trying, between just thinking you are the best of them all. We all just have to keep trying. So while I was at schools, I came across many of those children or pupils or young learners who shared a lot with me. And I thought, why don't I share with you? Because you're the adults, you're the parents, you're the caregivers. Why don't I also share with you so that we can see how to help our children or work on some of these things? I realized that most of our children are having problems of hate versus love. It is not easy for some of those children. They do things that they think mean that they are showing love. Reasons why they are doing them are really, really diverse. All right. Some just have hate for the world, for the people around them, for their schoolmates, for their teachers, for their parents or caregivers. And this must result from somewhere. This must come from somewhere. And we will want to look at those origins. How are our children already there? The environment they are living in, is it the one affecting them? Is it how we are parenting them? Is it the style of families that we have? Most of them have trust versus mistrust issues. They are either trusting the wrong people, they are either trusting at the wrong time, they are either mistrusting, there's so much going on and they are confused. They do not know what to do at the right time with who and when and where. Also realized that there is issues with life skills. I will be very honest and just say that life skills is almost everything that we need to train our children, amidst many other things, but life skills are very important. How to communicate. How do they communicate? When do they communicate? All right? They have to know. And how do they communicate effectively, so that even when a child wants to say no, then they mean they know they want to say, so that even a child accepts or agrees to something. Is it peer pressure? Is it because they know the value of what they want to do? Life skills, very important, and we have to take our children through this. And I want you to understand that I also know that we do not have the time, but we need a moment with our children. And that's the reason why I am also there with my team, because we then get to have a session or a moment with these children and we hear what they have to say. We listen and then we try and bring in the parent, anyone else who is concerned or in charge of them, so that we talk and we see how to guide our children's instability in families. This is broad. This is broad. The relationships we are keeping as parents or caregivers and how they are affecting our children. This is wide. If you need a moment to even come and share with me, just call me, write to me, email me, so that we talk, we see how to guide our children. Listen, there is a theorist, Sigmund Freud, who said that the first 6 years of a child are very precious. This is where, if you don't give them enough food, apparently, and love during this time, develop greediness, mistrust, fear of reaching out to others. At this stage, the first 6 years of a child's life, rejection of affection. However much you try to show this child love in future, they do not just get, because the first 6 years it was not there. Fear of loving and trusting, low self-esteem, isolation. It is so funny because yesterday I took a border rider and I decided to just strike a conversation with him. These people are very interesting when you get to have a moment with them. And I was asking him, what do you think about our children now? The economy and the parenting and all that. And as well, we were in the midst of speaking, he mentioned one thing and he said, if you do not take care of your child within 6 years, he mentioned the same 6 years. That's the point where you tell your child, this is wrong, you cannot do this, and we do this way. Of course, he said it in a way that had a lot of discipline. And he said, if you don't discipline your child within the first 6 years, then you cannot do it after that. But within the first years, if you can contain and discipline your child, then you got it right. You do not have to discipline your child after the first 6 years, because they will already know what is wrong and what is right. This got to me and I said, parents, we know what to do. We are just either busy trying to make ends meet, or some of us, of course, don't know how to do it, but we know, what we should do. That is why I am here with my team, Minds on the Move. We are trying to help so that our children can also grow holistic lives. I am so grateful sharing with you this today, and I think what we are going to do next is to figure out how can we support these children. Fine, most of them are past 6 years. They're still going through all these things that I mentioned: mistrust, hate, love, not knowing how to love right. And so there's hate, of course, and instability in families. How can we help our children to cope with what is going on right now? I am so glad to be your host today. I am so glad to keep talking with you. And please, parents, let's spare a moment. I keep asking you to spare a moment or two every day if you can, or whichever time you get, and just have a moment and session with your children. It makes a very big difference. Thank you again very much. Until next time, see you.